The Kickstarter for Companion Quest is almost over. It's such a fun game to play, I swear on my life. And if you want it to be better, we gotta push for some stretch goals. If we don't get all the way to Gribbles the Gnome, I'm gonna scream cry into my Stibbles body pillow. If you haven't heard about it yet, Companion Quest is a super replayable cooperative game that's sort of like a puzzle-solving adventure. And the base pledge to get the whole game is only 25 bucks. For 10 extra bucks, you get 2 exclusive expansion packs with a super fancy wild die. 30 bucks above that gets you 5 soft play mats with bespoke art and card sleeves for the whole game. 30 on top of that, and you can literally own the exact house that Stibbles grew up in, and also fancy snack tokens, but every time you roll dice inside of his house, he moves the dice around and he helps you win. If you want to learn more and maybe grab the game, click the link below. Now it's video time. Last month, I was doing a little podcast with some homies. It's called Monster Boys, I'll link it down below, but we were talking about beholder variants, and it got us thinking, what if there were others? Since beholders create new beholders out of dreams, and they all look different, and there's like 15 variants, why aren't they just all variants? And how many can I dream of? We have the baseline gazers, spectators, mind witnesses, eye tyrants, death kisses, and at the end of the line, something called a hive mother. Then there's other creator variants, like Mario's beholder, or the behinder, which I think is a bunch of butts, but I forget who made that one. Now it's my turn to make as many dumb and kind of cool ones that I can in one sitting. Let's get started. The Ball Bowler. Instead of eyes, it creates heavy orbs that it flings at enemies and screams stuff like, "What do you think you are? I am!" The Ponderer. A beholder that disguises itself as a scrying orb and reads the mind of anyone who ponders it. It's kind of like a little ball of abyss. If you stare long into it, it stares back and then you both think about each other forever. The Peeper. A tiny beholder that can teleport between small cracks like boggles and attacks people's armor instead of the people. The Peeper's gonna peep your peeper. The Creeper. Sorry. It's just a stealthy green beholder that doesn't actually attack unless another creature sees it, and it blows up when it dies. The Squinter. A beholder that can only see and attack distant enemies, suffering disadvantage on attacks against nearby creatures. The Get-A-Loader, parentheses this guy. It's a beholder that wears a backwards baseball cap and makes fun of its enemies with vicious mockery. Oh man, they already made overseers and directors. Fuck you, I'm gonna make the administrator, a giant roaming beholder that enters other beholder hives, and if it finds them too easy to get into, it'll kill that beholder. The Supervisor. This one wears a cape and protects settlements from, like, aliens and stuff. He's pretty cool, he's my favorite. The Iris. Ironically, the chorus of the song Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls is literally how beholders feel. I want this one to just be a raw floating eye that emanates that song constantly. The Dance Floorer. This one is all legs and can cut the absolute rug so hard that it causes a panic at any disco it visits. It can force enemies to dance and kicks the shit out of them at the same time. The Adorer. Upon the creation of an adorer, it immediately becomes obsessed with a random creature in that plane and seeks them out to serve them. Maybe you could make adorers through a ritual similar to how you summon spectators. The Backdoorer. This one is also all butts, but it sounds funnier than the behinder. I imagine it can also like teleport and unlock closed doors without destroying them. Something like that. The Blindfolder. This one is useless, but maybe it has like a, I don't know, an eye ray that causes blindness, even though it's also blind, which sounds like an awful fight for all parties involved. The Fortolder. A beholder that actually can see the future, so it's not as anxious as all the other ones, but it chooses to work as an oracle that just tells people how they're gonna die. The Householder. This is my worst idea. I need to get off the rhymes. I don't know, it does laundry really good. The Compound Eye. This one has no tentacles and no central eye, but it can see and fire anywhere and with more beams. The Stemata. At this point, I'm just learning about eyes. I don't know. These would probably be like the smallest, least developed beholders that swarm together and shoot tiny lasers at you from the ground, like really poorly. The Thermal Viewer. A burning beholder that can see invisible creatures and detect nearby life. The Scanner. Like the already existing eyeball creature, the Nothic, this one can learn more about a subject the longer that it looks at them, being able to see their secrets, pasts, or fears. The Scryer is also an acceptable name, but I only wanted 20 of them. I'm wrong, and I'm so fucking stupid. I forgot the Cuckolder. How could I forget the Cuckolder? And also the Stockholder. He owns all my stocks. The last one is the only developed idea that I had before making this that I wanted to make, and I think the best name for something like this would be the abhorum. If every beholder dreams of their greatest fear, eventually those thoughts would form something in the outer planes akin to a god. Like their dreams become prayers, begging the world for the abhorrer to not exist, but falling back on their own nature of accidental creation. I picture it kind of like Ego from Marvel or the Moon from Majora's Mask. This floating beholder, the size of a small planet, practically a plane in and of itself, infested with its own living dreams. Sort of like the symbiote home planet, merged with the far realm, so it would be a horrifying vacation location. You do not want to visit the surface of the abhorrer. And if it shows up in the sky, that's probably the end of the world. Unless there's some adventurers there to stop it. Hey-oh! That's all I got. I don't know if that was anything, but thank you for watching.